You gave Dak Prescott.
Right, do you think I care what anybody says?
Yes,
do you think I want to interview anybody?
Yeah,
no, I don't interview anybody.
Neither of you guys don't care about that.
You interview.
Zero.
Before Skip Bayless would change his name from John to Skip. Before Skip Bayless would move from ESPN hosting with Stephen A. Smith to Fox Sports 1 where he now hosts with Shannon Sharpe.
He's not taking the career-threatening shots in the pocket. It's not fair. This is football. It's a hard game, and he's avoiding the danger. It's not fair. He can't keep playing this long.
Before Skip Bayless would use his rough upbringing as motivation to be the hardest worker in the room. Before Skip Bayless would say things like this.
You trying to undervalue LeBron.
Undervalue
You trying to undervalue LeBron.
Okay, after he crawled all the way to South Beach to say, please show me how to win a ring.
Skip Bayless would find a huge amount of success debating former co-host Stephen A. Smith on ESPN's First Take before taking his talents to the rival Fox Sports in September of 2016, where he still argues or debates with Shannon Sharpe. The son of parents who owned and operated a barbecue-styled restaurant, Skip, whose real name is John, always knew he wanted to do something with sports when he grew up. After averaging just 1.4 points per game playing basketball, Skip soon realized he would probably be better off reporting on sports rather than playing them. We're going to tell you guys all about Skip Bayless' rise to success and fame, and why his basketball stats were only 1.4 points per game, right here for you on Before They're Famous. What's going on, everyone? Jared Bronstein here, coming at you with another Before They're Famous, and today we're talking about Stephen A. Smith's former debate partner, Skip Bayless. We just recently did a video on Stephen A. Smith, and a ton of you guys wanted us to do one on Skip, so here it is. As always, you guys gotta drop us some comments down below with who you want to see next. The more suggestions we get of the same person, the more likely we are to do them. Maybe Shannon Sharpe? Who knows? Check out our Stephen A. video after this one, and for today's trivia question, I want to know what movie Skip made his film debut in. Yeah, he was in a film. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll answer that question at the end of this video, but we gotta get right into this one. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom! Skip Bayless was born John Edward Bayless II in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma on December 4th, 1951. Although his birth name is John, his parents would call him Skip from birth, and eventually John would legally change his name to Skip. The firstborn of John Bayless and Levita Anderson, John II would be referred to as Skip because his father would refer to Skip's mother as the skipper of the ship. In fact, Skip claims his parents didn't call him by his birth name once. From the get-go, he was being called their little skipper, which would eventually be shortened to Skip, even though his birth name was John. Skip's parents opened a local barbecue restaurant, the Hickory House in Oklahoma, where his mother would run the cash register and his father would take care of the rest. From a young age, Skip's father, who was a functioning alcoholic, would have Skip try his first sips of booze at age 3 or 4. Skip would be called into the party room during a celebration and was encouraged to take a sip of whatever it was his dad was drinking at the time. For a 3 or 4-year-old, I don't know what would taste worse than alcohol. Maybe cough medicine? Probably not. However, it would come as a blessing in disguise to Skip, who would grow to strongly dislike the taste of any alcohol. It wouldn't be too much later in Skip's life that he would learn his mother was also an alcoholic. Skip also has a younger sister, Luann Tucker, who is a special education teacher, and a younger brother, Rick Bayless, who is a celebrity chef and star of Mexico, One Plate at a Time.
Hi, I'm Rick Bayless, and I've been exploring, cooking, and eating in Mexico for over 40 years.
Growing up, Skip attended Mayfair Elementary in Oklahoma City, where he would quickly learn his parents didn't care much for his achievements. Although he started working in his parents' restaurant mopping the floors at age 4, Skip would also grow up playing football, baseball, and basketball. He would quit playing football in the 7th grade to focus more on basketball and baseball. Although he was a better baseball player, he claims basketball was his first true love. And the man could ball, winning Athlete of the Year while attending Taft Junior High in Oklahoma City. Skip would also attend basketball camps and play baseball throughout his youth, always having a love for sports, even though no one in his family cared much for any sport. As much as he loved playing, never in a million years did he think he would end up writing about sports. During his sophomore year, Skip's English teacher, Mrs. Burdett at Northwest Classen, would tell Skip he would be writing sports for the school's paper. It all started on his first day in her class when Mrs. Burdett assigned everyone a 1-page book report telling the class, "I just want to see if you can write." I doubt any of you can, according to Skip. Well, to the surprise of both her and Bayless, who opted to do his book report on a biography of New York Giants quarterback Y.A. Title, side note, Giants go Eagles, he actually could write. This 1-page book report would be the start of a career Bayless originally had no interest in. Imagine that. If Skip Bayless wasn't the Skip Bayless we now know, and we never got a chance to see his arguments with Stephen A. Smith.
Then Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Then Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Is Tim Tebow more box office than LeBron?
I think so. It's the National Football League. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the numbers he did in his games last year.
Although Bayless's parents didn't care much about what he did on a daily basis, with Skip even admitting he didn't have a curfew and would spend most of his Friday and Saturday nights at friends' houses to get away from his house, Skip credits his mother for his speech. She forced him and his brother to take public speaking lessons from age 10 to 12 from an older woman who his mother went to as a child. Needless to say, the lessons, which Skip would attend twice a week, have definitely played a big part in his life, allowing him to speak clearly and eloquently on all kinds of media. Here's his brother Rick on the speech lessons.
We went to this woman's house and we had to learn to give speeches, to recite poetry, to all that sort of stuff. And my brother cited that as why he has done so well in broadcast journalism.
Bayless would also spend much of his youth at his grandparents' home. However, they weren't home too much either, so he spent a large majority of the time with the family's house guest, Katie Bell Henderson, who would become a second mother to Skip. When Skip's grandfather would come home, he'd usually be drunk, and according to Skip, he was a dangerously mean drunk. Due to this, Katie would usually usher Skip and his younger brother to the basement to avoid his own drunk grandfather. Skip credits Katie for teaching him about what's right and wrong, warned him about the evils of alcohol, and pretty much raising him from a young age. Bayless would continue playing baseball and basketball throughout high school. However, in his sophomore year, Skip would see his basketball playing time significantly decrease. At 5'11", trying to play on a team with 4 future Division I basketball players, and the coach's orders to make Skip a point guard when he grew up shooting the ball, well, that was an issue. Skip would spend his sophomore year playing for the varsity B team, learning how to be a better point guard, and come senior year, Skip admits he was scared to even shoot the ball. Now, although it is known that he averaged 1.4 points per game, Skip explained it's because he barely got playing time, losing out the 5th starting spot to the coach's son in his senior year, even though Skip claims he was the better player. But it seems like this was yet another reason why Skip is where he is today.
It's in fact what propelled me to sit in this seat. The frustration that was caused to me in my high school career propelled me to become a member of the media and talk about basketball.
Due to his lack of playing time on the court, Skip would turn his attention to baseball and writing in his sophomore and senior years for the school's paper. Although he admits his coach, Winston Havenstreit, had a love-hate relationship with Skip, Bayless recalls although he'd learn a ton from his baseball coach, he would eventually grow to dread and despise him. Although Bayless would go on to play for Havenstreit in his senior year of high school, the team would have an awful year, and Skip would end up writing an article about how bad it really was to play for his baseball coach after their final game. He explained, I quote, "I didn't need sources. I was basically quoting myself on what really went on inside the 1970 Northwest Knights baseball team. Several of my teammates were pleasantly astounded. The truth had been told, but they also feared for my safety." Now, the same day the article was posted, Skip passed his baseball coach who either didn't see him or purposely looked the other way in the school hallway. According to Skip, an old coach of his, Jay Stevens, saw Havenstreit at a golf course a month after the article was posted. Havenstreit told Jay, I quote, "If I ever see Skip Bayless again, I'll kill him." Now, that's some pretty scary stuff for an 18-year-old to hear, but Skip claims it helped him deal with the many confrontations he would eventually have with players, coaches, and of course viewers or listeners of his many shows.
So, Skip, once again, stop it. Be an analyst. Don't be a you know what I mean.
Now watch your language. You've done well on this show until that point.
You know what I'm saying, though. You get away with putting misinterpretations and putting words in people's mouths. You know exactly what I'm saying.
Throughout Skip's senior year, Mrs. Burdett would send in samples of his writing, including sports columns, movie reviews, and work from his English class to enter him into the Grantland Rice Scholarship competition. His teacher also stayed on top of him to take the SAT required for admission to Vanderbilt University in Nashville. Now, according to Skip, Mrs. Burdett told him how the scholarship was next to impossible to win, so he completely forgot about it and came to terms he'd be going to the University of Oklahoma, where all of his friends were going. All that would change on one May night in his senior year when his mom left him a note to return a call to an area code with 615. Skip knew 615 was a Nashville area code and that Vanderbilt was in Nashville, but him winning? It's not possible. Until it happened. After he hung up the phone, he came to terms that his writing just got him a full ride to college, including tuition and a room for 4 years. He would go on to complete his 4 years at Vanderbilt, majoring in English and history, graduating in 1974, and working as a sports editor for the school's newspaper. While attending Vanderbilt, Bayless would continue a relationship with his on-again, off-again high school sweetheart. They would eventually get married but divorced 4 years later, with Bayless saying he was married to his job. Directly from school, Skip would get hired to work for the Miami Herald. He would work there for a few years, writing sports columns before being hired by the Los Angeles Times in August of 1976. Bayless would continue to work at the LA Times, winning the Eclipse Award for Outstanding Newspaper Writing in 1977 for his coverage of Seattle Slew's Triple Crown victory until he was hired by the Dallas Morning News to write their lead sports column. 3 years after working for the Dallas Morning News, he would be recruited by the Dallas Times-Herald, where he would be voted Texas Sports Writer of the Year by the National Sportscasters and Sports Writers Association 3 separate times in 1979, 1984, and 1986. While working in Dallas, Bayless would release 3 books all about the Dallas Cowboys and how they are. I'm kidding. They suck, but his books were about the winning Cowboys teams who would win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Enjoy it, Cowboys fans. Won't happen again anytime soon.
First of all, I would like to congratulate the 2018 Dallas Cowboys on not just a good season, but a very good season. And I would like to congratulate them on 1 playoff win.
Yeah, enjoy that 1 playoff win. That's all you're gonna get, bud. In 1989, Skip would join Dick Schaap for the Sunday morning show Sports Reporters. In 91, Bayless would jump into radio, hosting a sports talk show in the evening for 2 years. He would eventually continue his work on television as well, eventually leading to him becoming a member of the Knights of the Round Table, a segment before NFL Monday Night Football games that would see Bayless debate with co-hosts Mitch Albom and Michael Wilbon starting in 1993.
Good morning and welcome to the latest edition of the Sports Reporters. We'll be discussing those subjects and more.
Skip explains how the debates on the pregame show was originally scripted, but over time they would just go off the cuff, which he currently does with Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. As he would see success on air, Skip would continue working in print and radio, hosting the Skip Bayless Show from 1994 to 1996 on air. He would also make frequent appearances on ESPN's The Fabulous Sports Babe. Following 17 years of working in Dallas, Skip would get hired by the Chicago Tribune in 1998 as the lead sports columnist. In his first year in Chicago, he would win the Lissiger Award for Excellence in Sports Column Writing. Soon after, Skip would provide the commentary for the major golf championships on the Golf Channel in 1999 and 2000. Then in 2001, Bayless would leave the Chicago Tribune, becoming the primary guest host of the Jim Rome Show and regularly appearing on Jim's Fox Sports show The Last Word in 01 and 02.
Another in a long line of milestones for my guest this evening, who of course has announced his retirement after a career in which he was the 1986 American League Rookie of the Year, the first man in baseball history to go 40-40, the AL MVP in 1988, and a 6-time All-Star. That, of course, would be Jose Canseco.
Bayless would also appear on Fox's The Best Damn Sports Show period, but would move with Rome in 2003 to ESPN, being featured on Jim Rome's Rome is Burning show, and would also appear in a weekly Sunday morning SportsCenter debate segment with Stephen A. Smith. Now, as you guys know, this would be the start of an everlasting relationship between the two. During this time, Bayless would continue his radio career, co-hosting a weekend show on ESPN Radio with anchor Larry Beal, which aired until 2004 when Bayless moved into TV full-time. In 2004, Bayless would team up with Woody Page of the Denver Post to debate in daily segments called First and 10, which was featured on ESPN2's show Cold Pizza. In May 2007, the show would be rebranded as First Take, which is where he and former colleague Stephen A. Smith would really take the sports world by storm for their hilarious and heated debates.
So why you got to finish my sentence for me? I was saying that's what people were trying to say, but I was getting ready to do it myself. You understand? Give a brother a chance.
I need to hold your feet to the fire.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. You even let me finish my thought. What's up with that?
Now, as many of you know, Bayless would eventually leave ESPN's First Take after his contract would finish in August of 2016, with his final appearance coming on June 21st, 2016. Bayless would go on to join Fox Sports 1, and in September of 2016, Bayless would debut in Skip and Shannon Undisputed, where Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe argue, or should I say debate, about sports as well.
No, you always
I'm going to answer with a question. You never answer any of my questions.
Always answer your question.
I asked you yesterday, tell me the Cowboys' record the rest of the year. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to change the subject.
Bayless would go on to marry his current wife in 2016, Ernestine Scalfani, and continues to be a prominent figure in the sports news and broadcasting world. He would also grow to have a much healthier and better relationship with his mother, who would eventually be convinced to join Alcoholics Anonymous to deal with her addiction. Now, to answer our trivia question, Bayless would make his film debut in the movie Rocky Balboa in 2006. Not the original Rocky, this was like the 5th or 6th installation, I think. In the film, Bayless would be seen discussing a possible fight between Rocky and Mason Dixon. In the film, Bayless mocks Rocky's age and says he's overrated. Now I'm wrapping this video up. My name is Jared Bronstein, in case you guys didn't know. You guys gotta be sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video. Also be sure to check out our Before They Were Famous we did on Stephen A. Smith, and let us know who you guys want to see next in the comments down below. Shannon Sharpe, Colin Hurd, you guys tell us. We'll do anyone. Maybe Jay and Dan, because they're Canadian. Probably not, they're not that big, I don't know. Let us know in the comments down below, or just DM me personally on Instagram at Bronst7, and I'll see you guys in the next video.